SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Toyota Brookhaven services all makes and models. That could be why we were voted best service department the past 2 years. Come see why. Exit 40 Brookhaven or online at ToyotaBrookhaven.com. Great service, great savings. At Toyota Brookhaven, we deliver.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
This show is brought to you by Sledge & Company Financial LLC. I'm Taylor Sledge, founder and CEO. At Sledge & Company, we help businesses and families do better with their money. Check us out on the web at sledgecompany.com. That's sledgecompany.com.
And now, sports.
Get ready, sports fans. It's time for Chasing Foul Balls on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5 and streaming worldwide on the SuperTalk Mississippi app and on your Amazon Alexa devices. Chasing Foul Balls, your weekly source for all the sports news and interviews important to Southwest Mississippi. Chasing Foul Balls is presented by Rainbow Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Macomb and by First Bank. And now, here's your host, Robbie Hamilton.
Well, good morning and welcome to the Friday edition of the CFB here on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5. Hope everybody had a good 4th of July and a exciting time to say the least. I know you did, Mr. Randall.
Oh, absolutely. Listened to a lot of firecrackers and kept thinking they were going to quit, but finally I went to sleep.
Let's see. First of all, our guest this morning will be John Cox, the voice of the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. And here in the studio with us, you heard from Mr. Neil Randall, just sitting in with us this morning. Part of the family, little daddy himself, Wes Dudry. How are you, Wes?
Doing good, Robbie. It's good to be back.
I tell you what, glad to have you with us, that's for sure. Time of the year, though, honestly, not a lot going on. Most of your writers and your sports blogs and all that are taking off the week of 4th of July, the week after the 4th, because once they get back this week, then it starts a real push. You jump right into media days, and from media days you go right into practice, and from practice you go right into the season. So last chance for a lot of folks to take a few days off. So kind of a slow couple of weeks as far as the way the sports world goes. But first of all, I want to make sure we congratulate SuperTalk Mississippi on their Palmer Home Radiothon they had yesterday. They raised $336,590 for Palmer Home. So congratulations to the SuperTalk folks on a job well done. Helping there. Well, money is what we start with today. First of all, we got 2 or 3 things we want to talk about as far as the top of the list goes. One, Keith Carter, the Ole Miss AD, gets a contract extension. So some more money for him, some little bit of a continuity, I reckon you would call it, for the Ole Miss athletic department. But on the other side, Richard's not here, but I'll get Joe's guy's opinion. Of course, over in Oklahoma, the AD, Joe, was it Castellani?
Close enough.
He is retiring, and that's going to put an opening at Oklahoma's AD department. And the big question being, will Zach Selman be the candidate to go to Oklahoma? What do you think, Neil?
I would say he's certainly got the pedigree, and he's done a fine job as far as I know at Mississippi State, and I'd say he'd have to be at the very top of the list.
I'd have to agree. I mean, it's Oklahoma. I mean, facilities, brand recognition. I mean, how could you not seriously take a look at that?
What does State do now? You just sit back and have to wait?
I don't know what else they could do, but the folks in charge at most of these places have a list for everything tucked away and filed, whatever. And they got some names on the list somewhere.
Do they just have to sit back, or do they go ahead and make a move themselves?
Well, I think you have to sit back. I mean, I don't know what Selman's contract situation looks like. I mean, the only thing you could possibly do would be try to tack a few more years on to him to stick around. But, your hands are kind of tied if you're State right now.
Speaking of signing, the Mississippi State women's basketball coach, Sam Purcell, he signs a contract extension, so State will hold on to him. And then Devin Booker. Tell you what, teach your kids to either be a basketball player or a golfer. That's the two things. Booker signs 2 years, $145 million extension with Phoenix. Not a bad payday now.
That's almost as good as the money in radio.
That's a fact.
Almost as good as what Little Daddy's making now, too.
That's right.
Mighty close.
Mighty close. If I'd have put another ones or twos in front of that 145.
That's right. Yeah, you'd get right on the button then.
$145 million for 2 years to play basketball, guys. Things have changed, haven't they? Of course, one other thing I want to talk about at the start, the All-Star game coming up next week in Atlanta. Deal. They're going to use the RoboCops, also known as the Robo-Umps, in the All-Star game.
Well, we've been talking about this since you and I were running the baseball program out at Rotary, probably over 50 years ago, and we said it's coming. But I hate to see it. I swear I do.
I agree, Neil. I don't like it.
I mean, it's going to be more accurate. But look, part of the American fabric is hollering at the umpire and coaches arguing with the umpire. And how you going to argue with a computer? You're not.
Well, and to that point, I mean, the human element is part of baseball.
Thank you.
I mean, rewarding even if a guy gets out at first, sometimes as umpire you got to old saying you got to reward the play. Well, all that goes away if you go to robo-umps.
That's like, to me, in college and high school baseball, I love that game, but I do miss the coaches being able to go out and argue a call and spit and kick and all that kind of stuff. Where now if they go out there, of course, they'll fine them and kick them out the game and all that. To me, that just takes part of baseball away that you enjoy watching.
It takes the human part out, which I think we'll miss. But I'm not sure the much, much younger generation will miss it because they will have never experienced it like us.
Since you're the young guy, what do you say?
Well, I'm different than most young folks. I would like to keep the umpires, but I understand where Neil's coming from.
Egg Bowl rivalry. The rivalry number comes out. The Saturday Down South site says that the Egg Bowl rivalry is number 23 out of 25. Is that the logical place for that to end up?
I think it's pretty close, Robbie, because, a lot of these have national championship playoff implications riding on them a lot of years, and that has not been the case year in and year out, at least on a consistent basis with Ole Miss and Mississippi State.
I agree. I mean, it's hard to put it in the same tier with the Iron Bowl and the Red River rivalry when those games generally have so much on the line.
Number one rivalry, deal.
Ohio State and Michigan.
You got it. That's the number one. Also, one more thing before we go to your homework that I gave you. I love giving homework. One of my favorite things to do, because Neil, for some reason, how about put this nicely, little daddy? He says he didn't see it.
Yeah, well, I think Neil just needs he might need a new glasses prescription because it went out.
These are brand new.
You might want to get a refund.
On that, I can tell them women to quit texting, one of the two. He's got to do one of those two things. Quit filling up that inbox so he'll have time to actually read the important stuff.
He's got to get his priorities straight.
They are straight.
Believe me, they are straight. Pelicans, the New Orleans Pelicans, they predicted that they will win 30.5 games in this 26 season. That means a 50-loss season if you use that Kennedy Elementary math since they play 82 games.
Only 50? That's a lot of confidence.
52. 30 and 52 if you use that formula. What do you say there, little daddy? Is that pretty close to what the Pelicans should be doing, or should they have a better year than that?
Well, I would hope they'd have a better year, but how healthy are they going to be able to stay? Because that's always their problem. I think they've got the roster to have a better year, but let's call it what it is. You got to have your producers producing.
I think that's pretty generous, but when you get a new GM coming in, he's going to put his program in, and it's going to take two or 3 years. So I wouldn't argue with the 30.5. I might give him 31 or 2.
Oh, but you're stepping up, huh?
Yeah, I'm stepping up.
I'm mighty generous this morning.
We'll make one more basket.
Going way out on a limb there.
All right, guys, homework time. It's going to take a little time to go through all this, so let's start it. I asked you to name the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks for college football teams. And I'll start with you, Neil. I gave you Ole Miss. The Mount Rushmore for Ole Miss quarterbacks are...
Well, here's what I jotted down after I didn't receive the text.
When it's over with, I'm going to show you the text, but that's beside the point. What's the list?
I'm going to go with Charlie Connerly, Chunkin' Charlie, who kind of got the Ole Miss thing started in the late 40s. I'm going to go with Jake Gibbs and Jackson Dart.
Need one more.
That's the best I can do right now. Archie Manning. How's that?
I was going to say, how do you not have a Manning on the list? I mean, come on.
You could just go any way you wanted to with that one, couldn't you?
I mean,
I thought it was 3. I'm so sorry.
It's 4. What about Southern Miss, Big Daddy?
Well, you can't have a list at Southern Miss without Reggie Collier and Brett Favre. I mean, those
how
do
you put those 1, 2?
Ooh, that's a tough question, Robbie, because it's comparing generations. I mean, Reggie was great, but he was in an era where they didn't throw the ball as much, so his stats don't look as impressive as, say, a Favre. I would have to put Reggie 1, though, because Reggie was, first 1,000-yard rusher, first 1,000-yard passer in NCAA history. That means something. I mean, he was ahead of his time. And if you look at the statistical leaders, believe it or not, he's still 7th all time in rushing touchdowns at USM. That includes running backs. That's impressive to still be that high up on the list as a quarterback. So
Reggie Collier 1.
Right.
Brett Favre 2.
Favre 2.
Now, how do you go from there?
Austin Davis has got to be 3.
All right.
What's interesting about Austin Davis, a lot of people don't realize Austin Davis didn't come to USM to play football. He came to play baseball and turned into one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever had. But that's another story. But Austin Davis has got to be 3. And then 4, you got to have Nick Mullins because, believe it or not, he holds all the passing records at USM. All the Favre records he broke.
So that's the 4 for Southern Miss. Richard sent me the 4 for Mississippi State. We can all pretty well guess who's won.
Oh, Dak Prescott, sure.
Dak Prescott. Number 2?
Got to be John Bond.
John Bond's on the list now. It gets a little harder once you go past 1, 2. Any guess on number 3?
I don't want to cheat. I've already seen them.
Yeah, I don't want to cheat either.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to ruin it for the listener.
The rest of us cheat. Dave Marler is 3 on Mr. Richard Hayes' list. And number 4, you would kind of expect Nick Fitzgerald. So that's the 4 for Mississippi State. LSU. Saturday Down South says here's the 4 for the Rushmore for LSU. You want to go for 1?
Oh, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow,
Absolutely.
1. 2.
Got to be Daniels.
Jaden Daniels is 2 down. Do these lists have a lot of recency bias?
Oh, sure.
Absolutely.
Sure.
In the other schools, we're still with Arkansas with Prescott and Favre and all that you do. Number 3 on the LSU list, kind of surprised. Y.A. Tittle.
Well, now, he was a great one, for sure.
And number 4, Tommy Hodgson.
Yep. The only one that I would have thought might have made that was the one who took them to their first national championship, and that would have been Warren Rabb.
Do you know Warren Rebb?
I've never had the pleasure of meeting the gentleman.
Thank you for being with me, because I don't know who in the world he's talking about when he said Warren Rebb. When did Warren Rebb play football, Neil?
Well, they won the national championship in '58, and he was the quarterback. And he played a little bit of pro ball, but he wasn't like these other guys. But he did lead LSU to their first national championship, and that's why I'm slipping him in there.
Did they have lights on the stadium back then?
At LSU?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they had some 100-watt bulbs.
Okay, just checking.
But, the next year, Ole Miss couldn't catch Billy Cannon, so what can I say? They probably lights were dim then, too.
Few shadows on the field.
Yeah, one of them running the other way. Well, that's the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks for our teams. We'll post these on the website, and I'll post these on the Facebook page, and get your opinion on what you think is the top 4 quarterbacks for your school. We'll do that right after we get off the air today. We'll come back. Our guest today, a guy we've talked to many a time, one of our favorite, John Cox, the voice of Southern Miss Golden Eagles. He's coming your way next. Welcome back. Chasing Foul Balls, Friday edition here on SuperTalk Pike County, 93.5. One more question, guys, before we get to John Cox. Let's see, Utah coach Kyle Whittingham. He says college football is going to be a true minor league system for the NFL in the coming years.
I think it already is.
I would agree. It's closer to that than not these days.
Absolutely.
What will it have to be different? Is the money part, the NIL and all this is being given now, is that going to make it even more a minor league system?
Absolutely. And for sake of argument, how about a salary cap that's been coming up this week in some media day conversations?
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, I mean, how can you continue to just go up and up and up? But the players are free agents now.
No contracts.
No contracts. They go wherever.
But do the new NIL agreements turn into contracts? So you break the NIL?
You would hope so, Robbie. I mean, there's so many unanswered questions with this House settlement that everybody's going to have to feel out. But you would hope part of it would be some more guardrails to, if they're going to be throwing around this kind of money, have some security.
Oh, I agree. Something's got to be done. But when a horse is out of the barn, sometimes it's hard to get them back in, if not impossible.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It seems like every week you read, there's a different part of this going to be turned this way, and it looks like now they talk about, well, if this, there'll still be money under the table, even though they put a salary cap in and all this. So, to me, you just don't know. Week to week, you seem like you read something different could happen in this.
We're making the rules as we go.
Yeah, here we go. Whatever's best for you.
That's right.
And then whatever's best for you next week, we'll get to you. Join us on the phone, the voice of the Southern Miss Golden Eagles, Mr. John Cox. John, how are you, sir?
Robbie, I'm good, man. Having a good start to a good day, so looking forward to it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. First question, are you having to go to night school to learn the roster for Southern Miss football this year?
There are a lot more smarter people around here than I am that can kind of do all that, but it's different. This time of year in the summertime, I like to spend some time. I kind of make myself up a preliminary spotting chart and try to familiarize myself with the players and where they're from and what they've done and all those kinds of things. But in this day and time, it's like taking a graduate course. There's so many new names and numbers, and guys have come from all over the place. So a little different world of college football, college baseball, basketball, everything for that matter. But so many guys in football, it's going to take a little longer to kind of get ready for know these guys and all the information about them.
John, this is Wes Nunnery. Shifting gears a little bit, talking more about you specifically. A lot of folks don't know that you're an Ohio boy. Explain to our listeners how a a young man from Ohio ends up in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and stays around for all these years?
Well, I've lived here longer now than I lived in Ohio. But, yeah, I grew up in a town called Middletown, Ohio, halfway between Cincinnati and Dayton, home of the Mighty Middies. Probably the two or three most famous guys out of there. Jerry Lucas, the great basketball player, was a Middletown, Ohio guy. Chris Carter, Butch Carter, George Carter, the Carter guys were all great players there at Southern Miss and went on to play all over the place. So great place to grow up, though. Middletown was one of those places where on a Friday your mom and dad would pick you up at elementary school or junior high, wherever you were in at the time. You'd get in the car and you were going wherever Middletown was playing that night, whether it was football and basketball. Now, it's grown up. It's changed a whole lot since I've been there, but it was the absolute greatest place to grow up. And there was a guy in town there by the name of Warren Johnson. Warren Johnson was the play-by-play voice of Middletown High School and Miami of Ohio University and all those kinds of things. And one of the guys that I grew up wanted to be. I wanted to do what Warren Johnson did one day, and fortunately, I've been able to do that. So just a great place to grow up, and I was lucky to be there.
John, this is Neil Randall. Thanks for joining us this morning. You've always been really good to us. You've been at Southern Miss a day or two now. We won't talk about how long, but give us your greatest memories in broadcasting Southern Miss Golden Eagle athletics.
Whew, well, that might take a while, but you know, there's a lot of them in each and every sport that I've been a part of. You know, in football, I think probably you think back to a lot of the great wins the teams had over the years, but the one in 1982 against Alabama when we snapped that long winning streak of Bear Bryant and Alabama over there at Bryant-Denny Stadium, and that was a great Southern Miss team with the Reggie Colliers and guys like that on that team. Basketball is probably a lot of them, but probably starts off with that NIT championship by the Golden Eagles back in the 80s under M.K. Turk, when I didn't have a really good regular season but caught fire at the right time and, you know, won those 5 games or whatever it took to win the NIT. And then in baseball, there's been so many. A lot of those have been recently, but probably that run to the College World Series by our baseball team many years ago, when at one time they were about a 500 ball club, but caught fire at the right time and, you know, went through the regional, went through the super regional down at Florida, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're playing there at old Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska for the College World Series. So there's so many of them. You know, people ask me that all the time, and there's a lot of them when you think back, because I'm closing in on about, well, I've done just over 500 football games now here at Southern Miss. I'm closing in on about 2,000 basketball games, and baseball, I'm about 2,500 games that I've done over the years at Southern Miss. So a lot of great memories, and nowhere that I would rather be than in that black and gold and being a part of the Golden Eagles.
John, it's Wes again. Those of us who've been around radio understand that sometimes behind the scenes with strange setups and new places and technical difficulties, sometimes you just have to do what you have to do to get the game on the radio. In your career, is there a particular situation or an unusual setup that sticks out in your mind that you'll never forget?
Probably baseball more than anything. You know, baseball years and years ago, right nowadays it's easy. Nowadays you get into the booth, you hook up to the internet, and you connect back to the network or the station and do a game. But we had some games back in the day. I'll tell you that my craziest one was one year we were playing baseball at St. Louis against the St. Louis Billikens, back in the old days of Conference USA. And they had a field that it would be hard to describe. No press box. They gave you a card table out behind the backstop there. They had to bring the old POTS line out to you, and it looked like those World War II movies where the guys are stringing the wire out there somewhere. So they brought one out and hooked up, and it did work, but it was It was rainy. It was cold. It was about 38, 40 degrees, spitting rain, and you couldn't see very well. And the craziest part of it was when you look behind us, there was a soccer stadium they had with lights, an indoor press box, everything you needed to do a baseball game that they didn't have at the baseball park. So a lot of crazy ones. One time at Louisville, we had ordered a phone line, couldn't find it anywhere, ended up sitting in the third base bleachers amongst the Louisville fans with the equipment sitting in my lap. And it was really kind of neat because their fans were great. We were winning that day, but they would say, hey, you want something? You want a hot dog? You want something to drink? So one thing I learned back then was you had to go ready. You had to carry extra gear with you. You had to have extra kind of stuff with you. If you didn't, you might get caught with no way to do the ball game. So a lot of times like that over the years, but pretty easy now compared to what we had to do back in those days.
And the one thing you learned, you had to get along with the other team's fans.
Yeah, well, and you learned up your best friend was Radio Shack. If you needed something, you ran over to Radio Shack because usually the other team didn't have it either. So you'd have to run to Radio Shack or Walmart or someplace and find the equipment, the wires you needed or the lines. That's why even today I carry more stuff than I need to, because I like to have backups to backups to backups whenever I go. So I carry way more equipment than I probably should nowadays.
A new name at the head of the Golden Eagles, Lady Eagles basketball team. A new name, but a familiar face to the Southern Miss group in Bilderback. What about your thoughts of the new Southern Miss women's basketball coach?
Well, I think they're going to be pretty good. I think Missy's going to do a great job. I don't know Missy a whole lot, or haven't known her a whole lot. I've gotten to know her a little bit better since she's been here. She sat down with us on a couple times on a weekly podcast that we do, and very impressive, very organized, very knowledgeable about the game of basketball. Has been a great recruiter, in the places that she has been, and I think she's brought in a very talented bunch. There's a few left from a year ago. She's brought in some more. Of course, the transfer portal gives you a chance nowadays to bring in some players that maybe you wouldn't have gotten before, but I've been very impressed, and there's a lot of excitement around Lady Eagle basketball. It's strange. We haven't had many coaches over the years. When I started, Kay James was the head coach, and then, of course, Joey was here for a long, long time, and had a few in between there. But I think Missy fits right in. She's kind of a Southern Miss person, Hattiesburg person. She's really got people excited about Lady Eagle basketball, so I'm anxious to watch them play this year.
John, this is Neil again. At the top of the show here, you were talking about the number of transfers coming in and you trying to acclimate yourself to all the new names, etc. Tell us about your initial impression of Coach Charles Huff and his staff.
Well, I've been around Charles probably more than I have his staff because they've been all over the place, but really, really smart football guy and Coach Huff. Very organized, very determined to do it the right way and make his players do it the right way. I get the feeling if you don't want to do it the right way, you're not going to be around here very long and play for Coach Huff. But very organized, very knowledgeable, has done a great job in today's days and times where you have to get into the portal and you've got guys who can come to you in a lot of different directions, whether it's transfers or coming out of the portal or things like that. But at the same time, I think he's made sure that he's got guys that are Southern Miss type players and Charles Huff type players. And I think that's what our fans are going to see when they finally get to see them out there at the Rock in that season opener. They're going to see a team that is well coached, loves the game of football, plays 100% or more than 100% every time they're out there. So I like everything that I've seen from Coach Huff, and I've seen out of this what we know of the Golden Eagle football team so far. I think it's going to be a really fun, really good season for the Eagles on the football field this year.
John, we've heard a lot about the quarterback situation at Southern Miss, and I've read here and there that Braylon Braxton may be the most accurate passer in the conference and may have the strongest arm. What do you know about him?
Well, I don't know much about him as in terms of Southern Miss, but I do know we played him last year here at Roberts Stadium at the Rock, and he was terrific that day. He gave the Eagles all kinds of headaches last year, and I've talked some. One of my best friends is the voice of the Marshall Thundering Herd, Steve Cotton, and Steve and I have visited a little bit about some of the guys that have transferred from Marshall to come down here to Southern Miss, and we've talked some about Braylon Braxton. You know, he's a guy that has put up some amazing numbers. You know, in his career there at Marshall, he was about a 58% completion guy. You know, he is a guy that's thrown for many yards, almost 3,000 yards in his Marshall career, 31 touchdowns, only 10 interceptions in his career up there at Marshall. And I've been around him just a little bit, not a whole lot, but very knowledgeable, very focused young man about doing the right things and being a leader on this football team. So he's going to be a great addition to this Golden Eagle football team, and I'm anxious to see him a little bit more when they have practice gets started here shortly, and he gets out on the field for the Golden Eagles. But he's got all the tools and all the things you need to win like he's done at Marshall, and hopefully that's going to carry over here to Southern Miss.
Well, John, one thing Southern Miss can hang their hat on is baseball, and you had another great year. Yeah,
I'll tell you what, that's amazing. You know, I tell you what's amazing is the crowds. The crowds have been amazing. You know, during the regional here, you know, I'd get here early. I'd be here about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning at the baseball park. And it was amazing how many people were already lined up trying to get a standing room only ticket, or trying maybe to find a way to get in and find a spot out there in the right field roost. You know, people were there at 7 or 8 in the morning ready to get into that tailgate area and get their situation all set up out there in the right field roost out there. Really amazing. They have made themselves, in my mind anyway, one of the best atmospheres for college baseball anywhere in the country. Coach Berry, of course, followed by Coach Ostrander, done an amazing job of putting this team together over the last few years, and it's incredible. I don't think anybody, if you'd have told somebody 20 or 30 years ago this was going to happen, they probably wouldn't have believed you. But I always attribute it to the fact that there hasn't been a lot of turnover. You know, you think back, and they've all been connected. Pete Taylor, and then you had Hill Denson, who had played for Pete Taylor. When Hill got out, you brought in Corky Palmer. Corky had played for Pete Taylor, had coached with Hill Denson. You know, Scott Berry then comes to Southern Miss, and he knew Hill Denson. He knew Corky Palmer. He'd been around Southern Miss, and the same with Oz. Oz has got that Southern Miss black and gold blood. So it's a lot of fun. And I don't know that there's many programs around the country that have the fan support that we have at Southern Miss. So been a lot of fun, and looking forward to another good season next year.
The final two questions, John. Number one, we've talked here a lot. Has baseball taken over as the number 2 sport in the state?
I don't know. I don't know. But boy, there are not many states that you have baseball like we have. When you start going down the list, and I'll leave a school out, but I mean, Ole Miss and Mississippi State and Southern Miss and Delta State's been great. William Carey down here in Hattiesburg have been great, and so have many of the schools in the state of Mississippi, no matter what level they've been at. And I don't think it's unusual that other schools now come to Hattiesburg, come to Mississippi, all over Mississippi, looking for players, because they know there's an abundance of great high school and junior college players in the state of Mississippi. So it's a lot of fun. I know that, and you know, other teams like to come to Southern Miss and love to come to Pete Taylor Park to be a part of the atmosphere and see what it's like. But they realize real quick that they're the underdog, because our fans, man, they're ready to go right for the start. So it's a lot of fun, though, to be at Golden Eagle Baseball.
All right. 4th of July just passed. We got a northern guy who's come south. Is it mustard or mayo that you put on the hot dog?
Well, I'm a mustard guy, but I'm a chili guy too. I grew up loving chili dogs, so I like a little chili. But if I got to make one choice, I'll put a mustard on my hot dog.
John, thanks for being with us. We sure appreciate it, and look forward to the Southern Miss football season.
Anytime, guys. Great to visit with you. Great to hear from you, and hope to see you during the year.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. John Cox, the voice of the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. All right, Neil, you've passed over 4th of July. Are you a mayo or mustard guy?
I'm basically a mayo guy, but I do like a little mustard if you're going to put it on a dog. Now, hamburger's another story.
It's got to be mustard. There's only one answer here. I mean, come on.
So we got a mustard, and we got a little bit of both. And John's a little bit of both, of chili and mustard. Ask a simple question, get a complex answer, don't you?
I mean, I'm telling you.
We'll come back. We'll go back with Big Daddy right after we take this time out.
Sports. And now sports.
You're listening to Chasing Foul Balls on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5 and streaming everywhere on the SuperTalk Mississippi app. Chasing Foul Balls is presented by Rainbow Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Macomb and by First Bank and brought to you by East Macomb Body Shop and Guy's Pharmacy. Now back to Chasing Foul Balls on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5.
CFB Friday morning brought to you by First Bank. If you're looking for a bank that feels like home, First Bank is here for you. 14 locations across southern Mississippi. We're your local bank for checking, savings, loans, and more. Whether you're buying a home, starting a business, or you just need everyday banking made easy, First Bank ready to help. Stop by your nearest branch or visit firstbankmississippi.com. First Bank, where customers and community matter most. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender. And CFB brought to you by Rainbow Dodge Jeep Ram, 101 Rainbow Way. And now we go overtime with Reese Dudley. How are you, sir?
Doing fine, Robbie. Thank you.
Tell me about the 4th. Was it the River 4th?
You got that right. Yeah, down on the West Fork of the Mid River, and watermelons and ice cream and plenty of barbecue. We had a great time.
Did you have mustard or mayo with the hot dog?
We're not big on hot dogs down at the river. We like them big cuts of ribs.
Oh, y'all big timers, huh?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to work. First question. Will Travis Hunter be the last defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy?
Good chance of that, Robbie. I mean, it'll take a special player to come along and do that in today's offensive world.
We got you and Little Daddy with us, so let's see if there's a generational question, how it gets answered. First of all, it's the question. What in the world is a college football GM?
That's a good question. I guess we're trying to adapt ourselves to the way the pros do things. I don't even know what the duties would be. I thought, when they brought along positions like operations and all that, that was new to me. So I guess there's so much paperwork and rules and compliance and all that these days that they need all these kind of personnel.
All right, Little Daddy, to a younger Southern Miss fan, what is a GM in college football?
Well, I would say it's probably a replacement to what we've all heard as a director of player personnel, an old title, a new updated title that maybe is responsible for coordinating NIL deals and handling a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff for putting together a roster.
Excuse me, Reese. LSU talking about adding uniform ads to those purple and gold jerseys.
Follow the dollar.
What's your feeling as far as any college team adding more ads, because you only got the Nike and whatever on there, What's your feeling to people adding more ads to the college football uniform?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised with all this NIL money. We don't have sandwich boards hanging around everyone else's neck.
What about you, little daddy?
My initial thought is it's a little too far, Robbie. I mean, but the rich keep getting richer, so if you can find a way to make $1, then make it, baby. We all need more money.
Mr. Randall?
Well, when you started talking about the ads on the uniforms, made me think of the old softball uniforms of long ago. Those what do they call them? The super teams where they could only hit so many home runs and then you'd be out. But it's like Reese says, rich get rich and the poor have babies. So
we know what talks and we know what walks.
Well, that's from follow the dollar, as you said.
On the Pricedale Groceries fast pitch softball team, y'all have a bunch of advertising.
They were
sponsored by French's Mustard.
Well, they were. Those guys were lucky to have matching uniforms. I saw a picture of Gene's Grocery State Championship team here recently, and I don't know. It may have been after a game, but I don't think they were in total uniform. But I did see a picture of the Rodas brothers out from Magnolia, and they had on matching uniforms. That was Mike and Randy and David. So I saw a guy pitching several games years ago out at Udi Cook Field at East Fork, barefooted. Oh yeah, well that shades of Aubrey Campground McEwen. He played barefooted.
Give us the field again.
Udi Cook's East Fork Field.
Udi Cook, you can't beat that one, that's for sure.
Top shelf name.
High school says in 2 years they're going to the double first base that college has now. What's your feelings?
Well, I think it's just a natural progression from the college game. I think there's some merit to it for collisions at first base. I don't have a big problem with it. I just wonder how much confusion we're going to have over who's touching the right base at the right time. But I guess that'll be worked out as, probably in 10 years, and a new crowd coming up won't think twice about it.
That was the funny thing. They had the new rules for high school baseball. Once they put this base in, there was about 4 or 5 rules that you have to follow now of which base which person's supposed to touch and which base they can't touch and how they can touch another base and all this. I think we ought to have a not personal deal, but with the local umpires, we fix to have a cluster, no doubt about it.
Well, I hadn't umpired in a long time, but in my experience, that never was a huge problem. Now, I've seen a few bumps down the line, and I probably called out 1 or 2 people in 45 years for running inside the line. But I really believe that the powers that be have researched the heck out of this, and it's a safety thing, as so many things are. And I know it's the right thing to do, but being an old codger, I didn't think it was necessary.
How many years we've been playing baseball, Neil? You were probably at the first one.
Yeah, me and Abner Doubleday. Yeah.
Interestingly, if y'all look at the picture that's on that page with a national NFHA, whatever, the baseline is on the wrong base. Just pay attention to that.
Just another cluster. That's all it's going to be. It's going to be interesting, that's for sure.
Fixing something that wasn't broke.
That's it. A new rule to fix another rule to fix another rule. That's all we get into. Reese, one thing, USM Fan Fest is August the 16th. What can we expect at Fan Fest this year? Something different?
Oh, I don't know. I hadn't got it all figured out yet. We're getting close.
Is that a motorhome trip?
Oh yeah. First 3 games at home this year. It's going to be hot and back to back to back.
Now, Little Daddy, who drives the motorhome?
Me, of course.
You the driver?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of driver is he, Reese?
Oh, he's great. He's become a pro. He's driven it all through Texas and Nashville and Birmingham, so he doesn't have any problem on these 8-lane roads and all that.
I've only stood up on the brakes and thrown him on the dash once, but it was just once. Make sure he's paying attention.
If he wasn't, he was now.
That's right.
By the way, you're the Saints season ticket holder, right?
I am.
Do you see the new helmet?
I did. I like it.
You like the white? What about you, Reese? Like that white helmet for the Saints?
Well, you know me. I'm just an old podger. I like the old traditional black.
What about you, Neil? Have you seen that white helmet?
Well, as y'all just alluded to pretty directly, I'm old, so I'm going to go with Reese and stay with the black and gold. That is their colors.
Now, we never said old. We might have inferred seasoned, but we never said old.
Yeah, you did.
I think he just said it, so we'll all agree with it. How'd that go? One more thing. October 29th in the Smoothie King Center. Paul McCartney's going to be there. Reese, you going?
Oh, heck no.
What about you, little Daddy?
Who's Paul McCartney?
Oh, Lord.
I'm just playing. I had to work that in. I'm just playing.
Here we go. You're trying to set the young guy up. I get that. Thank you, Reese. See you later. We'll come back 5 minutes to go. The headman says we'll get to that right after this. Balls, right here on SuperTalk Pike County, 93.5, excuse me. Don't forget to be able to hear the program right after noon or so. We'll put the replay of it up on our Facebook page, Chasing Foul Ball. So if you missed some of it or you know somebody who would like a chance to listen to this fine example of a program, it'll be on the Facebook page, Chasing Foul Balls, coming up right after noon or so. So join us there. One final question today, guys. Little Daddy, most important factor in high school recruiting?
In high school, now, do we mean from high school to other high school, or do we mean from high school to college?
When a college is recruiting a high school player, what are the most important factors that he wants?
Well, number one, I would say would be money. Number two, I'd say would be money. And then number three, I'd say probably money.
If we got to that where really everybody is only concerned about the money.
Aren't we all concerned about the money, Robbie?
I'm not.
I agree, and that's a sad state of affairs. Used to, there was some school or family connection that would take a player to a school, but we don't see any of that. It's all about the dollar.
We're certainly not concerned about what we're going to study once we get there. That's way.
Well, the
question is, are we going to study?
Right.
Well, the question. Well, we used to hear about. Well, the freshman class from so and so, 92% of them graduated in at least 5 years. You don't hear any of that anymore because they're all moving on. This is his 4th year, and he is 27 years old.
Well, guys, thank you. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, little Dave, for joining us.
Absolutely.
Chasing Foul Balls, back with you next Friday morning, 9:06, right here on SuperTalk Pike County.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production. A SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.